calling the Parks Commission June meeting to order. We'll do roll call.
Diana Wallace.
Laurie Mills.
Sean Downing.
Melissa Morrow.
Rhett Bennett.
Mary Elizabeth Kofer.
Victoria Johnson.
Great. All right. The first thing, we have no public comments. We're really lonely here in case anyone's watching, but we appreciate that you trust us and that we're doing a great job. All right. So let's go to the minutes of the May 12th meeting. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Great. Second.
I'll second that.
Any questions, changes? Great. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. All right, update from Western Hills Little League. I don't see Steve. Nope, okay. Update from Western Hills Athletic Club. Nikki, do you mind if I call you up there? And I know we had some issues with, last month we asked them to clarify if they're gonna be using that area. Can you kind of give us an update what's been going on?
Yeah, so I got a contact from the contractor that is working for the tennis court area, and they were going to be using the park area. He came in and spoke with me on Wednesday of last week, and we verbally discussed that we were going to make sure that we had 48 hours at least for notice of anything that was going on. So the tennis courts and the pool are kind of two separate projects. The pool didn't necessarily need any permitting because it was just the decking and kind of a lot of upgrades. And so no inspections were really needed on that. So we didn't really have a permit. So they're kind of doing work on their own with one contractor, while the tennis courts are with another contractor that actually has the permits that are going through that inspection process. So the contractor for the tennis courts had agreed to kind of talk with the others so that they were being coordinated together. And so last Wednesday he came in, apologized for anything that was going on. He knew what he was supposed to be doing, but the communication with the pool company didn't quite go through. So last week he did ask for permission to use the park on Friday, I think between the hours, I think it was like 4 or 5 hours. And what they were doing was removing a lot of stuff to kind of keep going and that it would be done. So we allowed them that use. I didn't get any complaints on that portion, but they were supposed to stay out of the way. They would be taking up some of those parking spots closer to the fence for the pool area, but I hope everything's okay for that. I haven't heard any updates on exactly what'll be going on as far as them closing out or anything of that nature, but I hope some of this disruption will kind of slow down with the pool coming to a close.
Thank you so much for being involved
Yes,
in
ma'am.
addressing this.
Of course.
What about fencing? Did we get any clarification on that?
No, and I don't think I'm not sure they've made a decision yet.
They haven't
Because that would
contacted
go
me.
through, would that have to be approved by the city?
It would.
Yeah.
It would. Yeah.
And they're aware of that?
Yes.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll get another written update from them soon about where they are in their progress. Cool. All right. And I will say Western Hills Little League, I believe, is all finished with games on 3, 4, and 5 for this season. I think they do most of the city tournament is played down on the Cesar Chavez fields. So I don't think, have y'all seen any more games or practices? They usually wrap those up just in the regular season. Cool. All right. Update on recommendation to City Council for an off-leash area.
I'm back. All right, so with this, council did approve the Plan 16.
Let me say,
Okay.
and let's include, oh yeah, go ahead. That's okay.
Okay.
If you need to, you can talk about 5 and 6.
Okay.
The update on the east driveway improvements as well.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so council did approve the Plan 16. And they did say that they were going to go with the concrete recommendation for that. Beyond that, we are looking towards next steps, and I have been in contact with Kurt, and I'm still waiting a call back from Robert Dial to kind of get them together with staff to make sure what our next steps are. Councilwoman Brooke Brown had made part of an addition to their motion last month that we were going to follow the recommended steps that Lochner had put in, and it was basically how the drainage plan's going to fall. Making sure we're getting TCEQ, if any applications need to go in with them, making sure that best management practices are being followed, typical things of a drainage plan. So what we're going to do with Robert and Kurt is try to figure out where we are in the process. Where does Kurt kind of, his expertise end? Where does Robert kind of come in with some of his expertise, trying to figure out pricings, and then trying to figure out a engineer to kind of go forward with what kind of drawings we're going to need for that, so that way we can go out for a bid package to kind of get all this started. So,
I'm not gonna hold you to this,
Okay.
but if you were to guess, a timeline that would be reasonable and, you know, what would you think? So at, like, let's say at next month,
Mhm.
what do you think we could expect progress-wise with Robert and Kurt?
I'm hoping that we can at least figure out what our next steps are, to the level of what this is going to kind of run around of costing. I know that Kurt and Robert were kind of giving us some numbers when we were figuring out asphalt and concrete and curb stops and all those different things, but we're going to go ahead and try to get it laid out so that we have a clear view of what this concrete is going to be kind of estimated to. So we'll have that number, as well as trying to figure out what do we think the measures for drainage are going to kind of be. I know that Kurt's not a civil engineer. I know Robert's not one, but they have been through these processes enough that they kind of know what something should look like. So I'm hoping by at least next month we can have a little bit more of an update as to where we stand. Hopefully maybe have some numbers, maybe have an engineer that they have chosen that they kind of work with before that maybe can kind of help us out.
Cool. So we wouldn't use the city engineer necessarily?
No, so we
Okay.
can't use the city engineer because what they're going to be doing is they're going to be doing just like they do now, reviewing the process
Got it.
and reviewing the plans. So it's kind of a conflict of interest if they were to draw the plans and then review the plans and making sure that they're going against our code. So,
That makes sense.
Okay.
I think that helps us with understanding the process. And then, let's say that all comes back and we select an engineer either next, or they have one. I assume does the city have to, the council have to approve who the engineer is, or that's just a staff?
are we going to have to, I would say probably going to council just
Okay.
because we want to make sure that everybody's involved and, staff is just not making choices of, hey, this is a good idea. So kind of making sure that they're guiding us through how we're getting everything navigated. So I would hope that, they would go ahead and okay with rough numbers of what we have, at least hopefully get some numbers from an engineer of this is a rough number of what it will cost to engineer what we need to go through that process so that we can get
So
that taken care
I'm
of.
working towards sort of like what our next steps are.
Mhm.
And at what point would we make a recommendation to RCDC or the city about funding for it?
I would say you probably need that. I'm not sure about timeline, but I would say in that process of such would be when we get numbers on what it's going to cost for the drainage portion of the drawings and what it's going to cost for possible materials. And, well, they're not going to have the labor, but the materials and typical labor for what it'll be to kind of construct it. I think we'll have to go out to bid for the actual contractor to do that work. I'm not even sure, because if we have to go out to bid for that, we've got to go through that whole process. But I would probably say we need plans to go out for bid, because I don't think a contractor's going to want to put in their saying my contract is going to be for X amount, and then seeing the extent of what they're going to have to do or lack thereof. So
just to be clear, will the engineering piece have to go out for bid?
I don't think the engineering
Okay.
piece will need to, because it's going to be under the amount that we're required to by the state.
Okay,
But I think the whole project will.
sure, that makes sense. Okay, so hopefully this next time we'll get an update on where we are. We'll find out maybe closer to some numbers,
Mhm.
and then, and get the engineer on board. And then maybe, let's say 2 meetings from now, we be close to a bid package that we could put out there. Would we wait until the bid package comes? Would we go with the estimates to RCDC, or would we wait until the bid package comes back to go to RCDC to ask for the funds?
I would, in my mind, would go to RCDC with your estimates,
Okay.
just to kind of make sure that they're still on board, to make sure that next steps are going in the pattern that they need to be going in. If we're going over their numbers of what they're thinking in their mind of what they want to spend, hopefully at least get them on track, because I know that they're working towards trying to decide what they're going to be doing budget-wise for their ideas and projects and such. So I think just keeping them in the loop so that they know.
Cool. Yeah, we'll definitely do that. So then, I'm almost going to come into number 10, because I know you all are working on a budget. Is it, do we need to be asking the city to budget for this ahead of time, or put it into next year's budget?
I have no idea on that one.
I think it depends on how the numbers shake out. As Nikki said, RCDC met yesterday evening. My impression of the consensus of the board is that they're quite willing to fund, if not all the projects, certainly a large portion of it. So if there's no city funds that need to be expended, then I think a capital improvement project for city funds is unnecessary. I think this one is kind of squeaks into this fiscal year as far as like the budgeting process goes. So I think this would be anything above and beyond what you've already contemplated was already moving forward. So I think the off-leash area and the proposed parking lot improvements, both of those would already be outside of this, because this is future improvement projects you might want to have.
Okay, great. All right. So I feel like technically we all know where we are and sort of how that's going to go. And we hope that it goes smoothly and quickly. Do y'all have questions?
So is Robert Dial the one who is charged with making sure this process moves along, or who is in charge of that from a project not stalling perspective?
Robert's the main guy as far as the project management, the kind of the boots on the ground. From an administrative standpoint, Nikki and I will be overseeing Robert to make sure that he's making the progress he needs to make. As Nikki said, there's a limit to how much Kurt is able to do. At some point his expertise runs out and we no longer need him, we just need to start building. So Robert's helping kind of coordinate that and work with the engineers to make sure that Kurt's drawings are sufficient for an engineering analysis. So he's kind of bridging it, but as far as if it falls behind schedule, we on staff will be the ones to blame for it.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? Great. Does anybody have any other questions about update on the off-leash area? Cool, great. And does anybody have any on the driveway? Great. All right, then let's go to discussions, possible action on treatment solutions for mosquitoes in the lower park area.
This has been tabled for the time being.
Okay.
After a lot of discussion with some of the residents who know about this thing, and the people who are affected and their kids get bit and then don't want to use the park, we've kind of come to the conclusion that there's no real non-toxic safe way to effectively mitigate the mosquitoes, given the fact that it's by a creek and it's shaded and there's no wind. So you're not really even going to make a dent with it. And utilizing a bunch of those ones that send out the scents that need like power and maintenance all the time is probably just too much of a lift for the city. I mean, there's not even outlets. So we don't really have a great solution. So it's been run down, and until it's brought back up with a better solution, we'll table it.
I would actually like to have some input here. I think that we could actually do something, but it would be a different approach. I've done a lot of reading about this, and first of all, if we were to just try to treat there at the park, you can't do anything about the mosquitoes on the neighboring properties. So it may be that we need to do some sort of educational thing for the community as a whole. If people, especially given the amount of rain we've had lately, if we could get people that could go out to their yards and walk around and look for any standing water, and it could be just in, say they have a potted plant in their yard and the dish it sits in. If there's standing water there, dump it out. These are things that people need to be reminded of. It's not just if you have standing water like a pond or a ditch or something, but in containers around their properties. I think that's one thing. And also, there are certain plants that work to, that are mosquito they're not friendly to, and that's eucalyptus and the lemongrass and what's that other flower? I can't even remember the name of it right now. But there are there's some vegetation that you can plant that helps. And I also know that bamboo is a good harbor or safe harbor for mosquitoes. So maybe if we can get something out, whether it's done in the water bill, just a reminder to people to please do anything you possibly can to eliminate any standing water on your properties, that might be a good start.
Alan, is that something we've done before, just as a public service announcement, just a reminder to take a walk through your yard and
One more thing, just real quick.
Yes, ma'am.
When Ed Allen used to be the editor for the Picayune, this is something I could have called him and he would have done a whole article on it, and that was a good way to get the information out.
The short answer is yes. It is something that the cities typically will put out. Information about mosquito abatement, tipping things over. I haven't seen it done here in Rollingwood. I don't think I've come across one before, but we're happy to put out information on flyer about mosquitoes and standing water and that type of thing.
okay, great. And thanks, Sean, for
Yeah.
running that down.
Don't plant eucalyptus trees, though.
Don't plant what?
Eucalyptus trees.
They wouldn't grow here anyway.
They're non-native and they're
Yeah.
fire hazards.
It's a different type of plant, I
Yeah.
believe.
Okay.
Now, I don't think those trees would grow here.
All right. Let's see. Discussion possible action, Friends of Rollingwood Park online presence and fundraising. We haven't talked about it for a while, but it may be something that as this project comes on, that we can use as a promotion. So who's our little team committee for Friends of the Park? Do we have one?
It was I and Don and I don't know if there was a third one.
Okay.
How much have we raised? Anything?
I assume 0.
I'm sorry? How much we've raised for the Friends of Rollingwood Park? I can get a report.
Okay.
From the water bill
Yeah.
thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know if it will happen today, but, oh, we will. Oh, great. Okay.
Keep talking about how important it is, and I can
All right. So honestly, if we do really want to raise funds, which I do think RCDs is a great way to get funds, but I do think that, long-term, it would be something that there may be projects that people get very excited about. And I don't want to leave money on the table if that's possible. Alan, the number?
The people are excited to the sum of $1,715.
There you go, 1,700.
So
Okay.
yeah, a bit more than I thought. Yeah.
Right. All right. Well, thank you,
Thank you.
donors
Yes.
out there that have given to Friends of Rollingwood Park. We want to build on that concept, but I do think maybe as we look forward to this project, we can look at ways that we can get people excited about it.
We don't have anything at the parks that says donate here,
Nope.
I think it,
and a
Oh, you
QR
do?
code.
yeah.
Oh,
I
the
have
QR
the-
code?
I have the QR code of the upper park and this lower one.
Okay.
Both in there.
I'm
Great.
curious, is there a way to tell if someone's used that versus? No.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't think so.
That's fine.
But yeah,
I was just curious.
it's down here and at the upper park.
Great.
Maybe that'll be more intuitive when the park looks better. In
Yes.
the parking lot.
Right. Or when we send pictures out of what it could look like with their funds. Okay, well, let's definitely keep that on. I think it would be great to add, great, Rhett, thank you so much.
I'll take Don's spot.
I love it. All right, so Diana
That's
and
right.
Rhett, you guys will take the lead. And if you do decide to get together and talk about it, I'm happy to join you for the first one. And then
Okay.
maybe each of us rotate out a turn to kind of find out what you're working on.
Okay.
Great.
Who administers the funds for Friends of Rollingwood Park? Like, and that
The city.
action?
No problem.
All city run.
Yes, so they take it in that way. You can correct me if I'm wrong. They take it in that way, and then basically we might make a recommendation on how to spend those funds, but council would ultimately decide.
So no keggers for us.
I think we're
We
gonna
can
go to Las
recommend that.
Palomas and have margaritas to talk about the future of the parks.
I
department.
second that. Wait, was that a motion?
Yes, yes.
Be nice.
Yeah. We have a joint meeting that's scheduled now at,
We need to go to Las
Las
we need to
Palomas.
go to the Pepitas though. Isn't that where our tax money goes? Yeah, that's where we're going.
Oh, good citizens that we are.
Yes, yes. And we can walk.
yes.
That's where.
I was just going to say yes, you're correct until the discussion of the alcohol. And yes, so with the way we were on a staff level considering is, I believe, in consistent with what the Park Commission would like, and that those funds be anything above and beyond what council's already budgeted. So any just routine expenditures in the park department, we're not drawing down from that. We won't draw down from the Friends of the Park Fund unless we're directed to by this commission.
Oh, okay, great.
Great. Awesome.
So you, Sean, are directing this fund.
Sounds like it.
All right. Any other questions, discussion on that? All right. Discussion regarding the purpose and roles of Park Commission. Do y'all feel like you understand the roles?
Yeah, I was wondering why this was
Purpose.
on there and who thought that this was an
I think
issue.
it's annually, we're supposed to have it on our agenda to make sure that everyone, especially if we have new people, that they understand their roles and responsibilities, and we didn't get to it last month. So these two, really 9 and 10, were what do you call it? It's an ordinance requirement of us annually to check in.
At Pepitas.
Yes.
Making sure that's happening. And so number 10, a discussion of possible action to create a list of proposed capital improvement projects to submit to the city for consideration for budget purposes. Honestly, I feel like we've made that recommendation for this year. If we have additional things we want to, let's wait a minute, take a breath.
I just have
Okay.
one little
Enjoy
thing.
what we've accomplished.
I have one little thing.
Yeah.
I need to make sure that in everything that we're doing, there is a plan for erosion. Because even in that new area that was newly landscaped, there is so much erosion there. I think it almost might be worse. And I think that's a shame, given there was probably a bit of expense put in there. And the erosion, we're losing a lot of gravel downhill. So, and then at the north end of the park, Brian Ryder, kind of northeast side of the park, where he planted that, basically he put in a century plant and some other succulents there. I don't know, 7, 8 years ago. It's falling off the cliff there because of erosion. So with everything else that we're doing with these other parking lot improvements and everything else, we've got to address the erosion.
I do believe that in some of the engineering stuff, as they look at the drainage, we can really encourage them, because drainage and erosion sort of go hand in hand.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
and I just wanted to make sure that was included in there.
But I know in those discussions with Gomez, who did that area by the upper part,
Right.
that's where you're talking about the
Yeah.
erosion might be worse. Maybe it's a matter of getting Gomez back out there and saying, "Hey, I thought we were mitigating this," because remember, it all started with an ugly retaining wall, and then we were like, "Oh, we can handle this erosion and drainage issue better with something pretty." So maybe it's just another discussion with Gomez to see how it's actually played out and what can we do to mitigate.
Can we get Gomez back out there?
I'm sure we can.
Nikki, did you want to?
Nikki, why don't you just stay there?
I'm in my spot for a little bit. So a few weeks ago, Councilmember Phil and Alan, myself, and an arborist met. There were a few trees that we had some concerns with that were dead, but we just wanted to get an arborist's opinion just to make sure that we weren't going to be removing something that,
Could
was
survive.
right. So, additionally, with all of that, we were walking the upper park, and the arborist did notice the new plantings and everything, and he said that with the granite that was up there, he was noticing that there was a lot of erosion that was happening, and it's because the granite is real small. Mm-hmm. And he said that typically with a larger granite stone, you can get up there and it won't do that. So I don't know if that's kind of a maintenance issue that could be taken up or anything of that, but that's seems to be a solution, a possible solution.
So do you think we should ask Gomez what their suggestion is? Or is that reasonable? Or should we just direct Izzy to go ahead and put some larger granite? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay,
would just say larger
great.
granite unless y'all do know about Gomez and y'all know somebody that, you would trust to give
Well, I
some
think that would
input,
be-
but,
Getting Alex back involved.
okay. Well, yeah, I mean, we can always just put the new granite up there and
Yeah, I
get
think
that
let's-
and
let's
check
start
that
with
out
that.
and,
And I'm just curious, what arborist y'all talked to, and if it's the same arborist we met with when we talked about the
roots.
driveway, the parking lot, because
Mhm.
it would be nice to have consensus in somebody who knows the whole property and has seen other pieces of it
I think the arborist that met with y'all for that was
if you said his name, I'd
Keith?
know it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Keith. Okay. No, it's not the same arborist. The other arborist that we had met for the trees was Neil. We've got like a handful of arborists that come in quite often, getting their permits and such. And this one arborist had talked about some of the trees and how they were around the city. And so that's why we kind of invited him and said, hey, we've got a few questions. What say you?
So is it Austin Tree Experts? Is that what you?
Austin Tree Experts
Yeah.
was with,
That's who
with
what-
Keith.
who
That's
we
who we
met.
use.
Yes.
Yeah. And our understanding was that was who you all used a lot.
Primarily.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
so I think they should be in alignment. Let's hope.
Yes.
Yeah. And so let's start with this
The gravel.
gravel. And I do want to call out Brian Ryder had reached out to me also about some of the and what he was talking about was if we needed to go to RCDC, because this was an RCDC funded project, that some maintenance could be allowed and to be used for them to use some of their funds for maintenance for that.
Yeah.
So just
Okay.
throwing that out there. Now
I thought
that's
they-
just Brian saying it, not going to RCDC specifically.
Okay.
But we can talk to them about it at the next RCDC meeting too.
Yeah.
But if we can do it in-house, even better.
And they meet Tuesdays before we meet each
Yes.
month?
So our CDC.
Or Monday nights?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just met
Yeah.
last night, and they were actually discussing projects that they could put their money to, and I believe maintenance was brought up as a possible.
See, I didn't think they could do maintenance.
I know.
Only on projects that they fund.
Yes.
Yes, they can do maintenance of capital improvement projects. This is a nominal cost though with the decomposed granite.
Yeah.
So I think my recommendation is let's just have Izzy put out the lot. I mean,
Yeah,
we can
let's
do
see
that
if that
really,
works
really
first
quickly,
before we
or we
sink
can
any
wait a
more
month
money
to get
into it.
approval for $1,000.
No,
So I'd prefer we just get it done.
yeah,
I agree.
great. All right, anything else under projects for this year?
I mean, for the budget cycle?
Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, for the budget process.
Is there a limit on that? I mean, like a cost limit that we would need to that would be important, like over a certain threshold?
Oh, I think they were saying that probably not for this year.
I think we've spent all of our money this year.
Sorry.
We'll just get you a seat at the table.
I know. So basically, this item is more so for ahead of us starting our budget cycle with council. So if there's anything that y'all do have in mind, it can be, started a conversation with them to see if that's something that they're going to incorporate into the budgeting. So, if y'all are saying, no, we're good for this year, we don't think we're going to have anything else, then that's it. But right now, this would be just kind of ideas that you're wanting to put out so that it's kind of on the radar for council if funds need to be budgeted.
In all honesty, we'll be lucky if we get this done in a year.
Right. It's
Yeah.
a project for
But
sure.
once the money's allocated and we're thinking ahead, I know there's things at the lower park that need to be considered. But if it just is gonna cost $2,000, does it need to be considered for the budget or? I mean,
It would be nice to at least know,
Have a
hey, we
preview.
wanna kind of earmark this amount of money for a certain thing, that we're gonna work on budget, on park
No
stuff.
matter
So,
where we might get the funds from,
excuse me?
no matter where we might end up getting the funds from, is that
Right.
just a general?
Yeah, just in general, it's always good to earmark, just so that way we're not, council may have an idea to do some other project, and if they are not getting any input from y'all, they're going to assume that you're good with what you got, and they're going to put their funds towards, or their budgeting of funds
Okay, thank you.
towards something else.
So, knowing that, do you have some lower part?
I go back and forth with the lower part because there's consideration of a city hall project, which is real close to the lower park. So I don't know if we should put just tons of money into it till we know what's gonna happen here. But we could plant mosquito plants down there
Yeah.
or do little projects like that I think would be okay. But I think Laurie knows more about what the lower park needs than I do. I just know.
There's a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
we've talked for years about that space by the pavilion where it just is mud and yuck and nothing grows, and how do we make that look pretty, and how do we keep it from the standing water that tends to accumulate there? I mean, all the way back to Vicky and before Vicky. We talked about gutters at one point, but we were told those really wouldn't work with the way the pavilion was built. So I do think there's a lot that could be improved down there that might also help with the mosquitoes and keeping that standing water from, that little triangular area in between the playground and the pavilion also holds water a lot. I do think there's things we can do there, but I do like your idea of combining it with whatever happens here, because it is a drainage issue.
Yeah, it's gonna happen all.
And when this changes, this footprint changes, it's gonna change everything.
Right.
So I agree with you. I think those projects should go hand in hand. Go ahead.
I agree with that, but I think it'd also be helpful to have, if there's other landscaping stuff or just anything you see through a walkthrough, have more detail now, because we're gonna have all the people on site doing all the work. It'd be nice to have all this little stuff considered while we're doing it. So if you wanna come back.
Solution is the problem that we've had with you know, talking with Izzy and Vicky and whoever was before
know,
Vicky, I can't
yeah.
remember now, but no one had a good solution or something they felt like was really gonna mitigate the situation, but maybe we just get more minds involved this
Yeah.
time. Maybe we get Gomez out there again, and
Yeah.
I'm happy to be part of that, cause I think the lower park is neglected.
Yeah, the point is there's going to be some experts on that sort of stuff that we're going to be here on the park looking at all stuff. We're doing the upper. Let's do that. I think it would be worth your time to just do a walkthrough in the next 30 days. Come back if you see, even if we don't do it, just having that list of stuff for consideration for when we do
Yeah,
stuff
I
down
agree.
there, and give us the money. And if we don't put it on this one, we'll put it on the next one.
Okay.
Well, and the request should also be that Park Commission be brought in once the planning starts for this, so that we can kind of get in on the engineering part of that, so we know what the drainage is gonna be, the drainage plan's gonna be.
Yeah, we've definitely. I mean, we're kind of going out of our way on purpose to get the feedback from the appropriate commissions before we do stuff.
Okay.
We just did that with utility commission on some of the tree stuff, the Oakville stuff that we're doing. So absolutely, y'all are gonna have more work to do when it comes to that, and there's probably gonna be more work for you to do when it comes to the actual landscaping plan that gets put together
Oh,
up
that's too
there.
much.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's coming
What is the plan for the city hall timeline?
in the future.
I know, but is it a
That's the
3-year
answer.
plan? Is it a 6-year plan?
Near future, completion less than 3 years probably.
How about, when would it start?
We are making progress monthly towards it, but we're still in the planning phases of it. So I
And
can't
how
tell.
is that happening? Is it through a committee or is it through?
The mayor has been given permission. I think the last step was to go find a project manager / site planner person, and then that person was going to help us work with architects. We've already done a needs assessment with all of our departments, with Travis County, because they want to put fire station here as well. So it's a get the right people in place and then start bringing in people to have more of those conversations.
So we would
Okay.
have a police and a fire station and a city hall here?
Travis County has offered to give us money to build a fire station here, or a small substation with one of the small 400-gallon trucks and 2 full-time paramedics EMTs stationed here, and
And does
Just-
that take part of the parkland over here?
TBD.
Okay.
We've got to figure all that out, but the EMS thing, I think the EMT thing is important just because their needs overlap needs the police department has too, so we're getting a lot of cost savings by doing this. So I don't want to get into it now, but stay tuned for the city council, because we are making progress every month towards that. And as it pertains to the park, absolutely, this body will get brought into those
And
conversations.
what happens to city operations during that?
Let's tune into city council. Great questions, all we got to work through.
Okay.
Alan?
I was just going to add to Councilmember Michelle's comments that next Wednesday during the council meeting, council will be presented with the staff's attempt at ranking the qualifications of the 15 different firms who submitted to be that owner's rep. So you can kind of see the pile there next to Able. We had a huge amount of submittals, so we're going through it very slowly and very deliberately to try and make sure we get the most qualified one at the top. Very encouraging. I've been in government for quite a while now, and it's the most I've ever seen as far as number of responses.
That's
Really
right.
good.
Good.
Well, if we
Alright.
can just keep the
It's
staging
exciting.
area out of the lower part, that would be really nice.
Good luck with that. It'll be
I know,
the new
right?
parking
It's
lot.
just gonna spill
We're
right
just
over.
gonna take over the new parking lot.
People are gonna complain no matter where it is.
It's true.
Yeah,
So, someone's gonna complain.
There's always gonna be a little bit of heartache to get where
Yeah.
we wanna be.
yeah.
It's true. I think that is a good case for waiting a bit to think about the lower part, just as long as we're including it.
Yeah,
As long as we can get the upper park and parking lot done before y'all start,
Okay.
that's the goal.
yes. I think that's a great goal. It's a race. That's a challenge out there
Yes.
to council.
I just wanna be on the record, as that's the goal.
Yep. All right, quarterly walkthroughs.
What about 'em?
Oh, yep.
Izzy has not completed it yet. He was out all last week, so
Okay.
there's
Okay,
nothing from
no
Izzy.
worries. We'll catch them next time. Do we have everyone signed up for the next ones?
I don't believe I have anyone for the July 24th.
Okay. Who would like to go?
I'll go.
Great. Sean?
I'll go.
Rhett?
think I'm in town.
Okay,
I'm out of town, or I'd
so put that on your, let Izzy know. Okay, perfect.
How many people do we use for that too?
Two.
Two, you can have three, just two.
And
Yeah.
just so y'all know, the main things that Diana and I addressed last time that was on our list was erosion.
And I
That was
think
the main issue
usually
we saw.
it'll give you the list of everything that's been listed in the past, if you could share that.
Yes.
And that way y'all know what's already on the list, but you can also bring it back up if you're like, hey, I really think this is important.
Like this list that's in our packet?
Yes.
Right.
It'll be updated by the time.
So, would an example, the parking lot that's right over here, up above City Hall, the lines up there have faded away. Would that be an item for the quarterly walkthrough, or is that a separate item? Where would that go?
It's a great item for the quarterly walkthrough.
Okay.
Any
Yeah.
kind of maintenance, deferred maintenance, things that you see are about to break, perfect
No
things
harm
for
in
it.
putting it on.
Yep.
Right, then if it's something bigger, like you see a parking lot collapsing or falling apart, that's a great addition for the CIP, for your capital improvements line item there. But absolutely, I think any deficiency or any requested improvement, bring it forward, and even if we see it on the walkthrough, we can then start adding it over the course of the year to the list of what you'd like to ask council for the following year.
Very good.
Oh, Nikki, you mentioned that the arborist was looking at some trees that were dead. I saw a white mark on a tree I've been looking at for a while. Is that coming down?
Yes, so Izzy did mark a few of the trees. Right now, we're still in oak wilt, so they're trying to get out of that
That's end of the
portion.
month, right?
Yes, it'll actually be
End of June.
End
the
of
end of
June.
June.
Yeah.
So July 1st.
We're waiting.
Very good.
Great.
Trim some trees.
Trim some trees. No, but yeah, some of the ones that he has marked. I think there were two that he had marked. They were just in full decline.
I've been looking at that one by the playground.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's marked. Okay, thank you.
Great. All right, anything about the financials? Anybody has any questions? Okay. We have finished our agenda. Can I have a motion to,
Adjourn.
adjourn? Thank you, the word.
Motion.
Second.
All right, all in favor say aye.
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 Well done, thank you, everyone.